Dear friend, hi. I haven't been on a solo podcast episode in a very long time. There have been very many people to talk to. No one more important than you. Just you. Hi. Well, first let me just say thank you. Thank you for your ears and your heart, and thank you for the notes you write. Thanks for rating and reviewing, by the way. I don't ask it of you guys, and you do it anyway, which means a lot to me. Thank you. This has been a big year. We've had a lot of meaningful conversations, like really meaningful. My whole goal with this work is to take women's stories out of the shadows and into the light and celebrate them. There are so many different avenues to take. You know, in the Sarah Jenks episode, we say the societal brainwashing would have us believe women can only do it this way, one way. And I think that often we perpetuate societal beliefs, even women, because we believe them. We believe that there's only one way to give birth, or a better way. We believe that having kids is important, but is it important to you? We believe that we must be in partnership, or that it's better to be in partnership. When we saw that in the Mara Gerstein episode, in fact, it's not ideal for everyone. We've explored so many different ways to get pregnant or to become a mother: surrogacy, IVF, adoption. Actually, the adoption episodes are coming out in the new year. They're fantastic. Options. We have options. We don't have to do it by rote, and we can do it in community. That's my hope. That's my whole hope, guys. This year has changed me quite a lot. I came into these interviews, and I hear it when I listen back, or even when I think back. And while I was saying that I wanted to be less judgmental of parents in general, particularly mothers, I was so judgmental of not only my own parents, but like their whole generation. I would sort of make fun of them for the way that they would discipline. And the truth is, you know, discipline in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. Children were not treated with enough respect. They certainly weren't treated with enough respect the generation before either, or before that. And after sitting down with so many women, I gotta tell you, I have so much respect for our mothers. I really do. In a way that I didn't see coming. I remember talking to Michelle Garside. She's on the podcast. We do an episode about the sandwich generation taking care of our children and our own parents. And I told her about a scare I had with my mom where I thought she had cancer, and it really, really rattled all of us, the whole family. And all of the resentments that I held, and I held so many, really did evaporate. Maybe not 100%, but they really did evaporate. And it was from that moment on that I started building this healthy respect for my mother as an adult. I mean, I never for one moment didn't worship my mom, even subconsciously. And actually, I mean that subconsciously because when I was growing up, in high school and college, even after college, I was like definitely not worshiping my mother. But I always loved her. Like, I always genuinely loved her. But the respect that I can now hold as an adult with my own children, with friends who are mothers, with friends who are not mothers, I can look at my mom and I can really have reverence for all that she was able to accomplish and the love she was able to imbue in all that she did while being honest about where she fell short. Because I have enough life experience. I've only been a mother for nearly 6 years. It'll be 6 years in March. But I have fallen short. And I have friends and peers who fall short, who are not respectful, tolerant, kind, loving, peaceful all the time. And I have great respect for them because they're doing a hard thing. It was Avital Schreiber who Laura and I always quote, Laura being our executive producer who we love so much. We love her so much. We love her so much. I sometimes make her come on and talk into the mic because I think it's so great. She's like my Roz, But we quote Avital Schreiber, who was on the first season of the podcast. I think she was like the 4th episode. And she says, people don't climb Mount Everest because it's easy. How cool is that? That's some tough love right there. People don't climb Mount Everest because it's easy. They climb because it's meaningful. Means something to them. She related that to motherhood. It's not easy, but it is inherently, deeply meaningful. Yeah, I've changed a lot. And mostly in regards to my mother, which has changed everything for me. I don't even know that it changed my outward sort of way with her necessarily. But I advocate for this all the time. Like, let's stop judging each other, ourselves, other parents. But whoa, let's stop judging our mothers. There's so much self-help and psychology books, spiritual books that talk about the impact of the mother in family constellations. I have a certificate in family constellations. I trained as a family constellations therapist. They say that your mother is the most important person in your life, the second most important person in your life, and the third most important person in your life. And on some level, that's great. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I hear that. And on another, can we not put so much pressure on women? Even in retrospect? There's this idea of like the good breast. Let me tell you, a woman did not come up with that terminology. The good breast, meaning the milk flows freely, it's satiating, it feels good, and that's the feeling of the mother. But life itself mothers us. Society mothers us. And there are so many things that impact the mother herself. So when we come at these conversations around mental health or wellness or spirituality, and we're putting so much onus on the mother, first of all, where's the dad? I think we're doing our own selves a disservice. Particularly if we're adults. There is the concept that we are now able to reparent ourselves. And you know what? Maybe it's not even reparent. Maybe it's just parent ourselves because we still need parenting. We still need the quote unquote good breast. We need love and affection and eye gazing and acceptance and being heard and being attuned to and being loved unconditionally. Maybe it's not reparenting, although that's important, I guess. What if we are just parenting ourselves? What if by the time we graduate college, let's say, and most of our brain has formed, it's time for us to take the wheel as adults? They started the mythology of us, and we write the rest of the tale. I think in this year, after so many conversations, I have grown up quite a lot. I have been able to parent my kids and myself and get some real perspective on the way we talk about motherhood and womanhood and the way we think about our own mothers. I want to thank you so much for being in this conversation with me. And please let me encourage you to, I was going to say email, but please don't email. I don't do well on email. But I do well on Instagram. Like, message me. Let me know what you want to hear about. I'm looking for a foster parent to speak freely on the subject on our podcast, as well as the step-parent experience. There are a lot more avenues we get to take. And, I'm only one mind. So this year was all the avenues that I see, that I'm aware of, that I'm curious about. But what about you? What do you want to know more about? I would be so grateful to hear. I don't always advocate for this, but I'm grateful for you rating and reviewing the podcast. It means a lot. It really does. So please do continue and share. That way we can make more meaningful work in the world. Happy New Year. I hope this year brings you everything you have been working towards and dreaming of, and sugar on top of that. It's been a real honor being your host of the Mom Curious podcast, produced by Hoff Studios, executive produced by Laura Lucetti. My name is Daniella Rabbani, and I'm so happy to hear from you at Daniella Rabbani. DanielleRabbani on Instagram. All right, bye.